Hey friends, welcome to today's yin practice. For today's class, we will be focused on the hips. Some props that are going to be helpful for you today are a pair of yoga blocks. They are not required, but they're always going to be helpful. A bolster. If you do not have a bolster, you can always use the pillows from your bed, on your sofa, whatever you choose. And a blanket is going to be very helpful for you today. I really love a blanket for cushioning and for elevating us into a higher position. So we are going to start off in a reclined butterfly for today. So go ahead and take your bolster towards the back of the mat. And I like to cushion my legs in this position. So roll up your blanket or fold your blanket at whatever height you choose. Then press the soles of your feet together. And if this is too much for your knees, you can always place a block underneath your knees. That is always going to be available for you. Slowly use your hands to walk you back. And just rest here. Maybe create a little bit of an activation by pressing the soles of your feet together. Gentle engagement just to start off. And then release. Of course, this does not have to be the deepest depth. One of the principles of yin yoga is to seek sensation and not to necessarily go at your deepest depth. Our intention is to explore the appropriate depth, as every body is different. So every time you step onto your mat, bring a childlike curiosity. This practice is also an ego check. But I want you not to be attached to the aesthetic. Be a seeker of sensation. We'll take 5 more breaths here. Blink the eyes open when you're ready. And take your time as you slowly and gently make your way up into a seated butterfly pose. And from here, we'll just take a moment to flex our upper thoracic spine, our cervical spine. Tuck the chin towards the chest, creating a nice counter to what we just did. On your next breath in, slowly roll up your spine 1 vertebrae at a time. Take your blocks, and we are going to use our blocks as a stand for our bolster. It is not a yin yoga class for the hips without entering our dragon series. So take your blanket, and you're going to use this blanket to cushion your right knee. So adjust the bolster as needed. We're going to come into our first dragon lunge of today's practice. And use the bolster here to rest your forearms down. gently close your eyes or create a soft gaze just in front of you. We're going to be here for 20 breaths. And you could always rest your head underneath your hands just like this. And we're just looking for that sensation. If anything feels electrical or burning, simply back off from it. Feel that stretch in the right psoas muscles, those deep hip flexors. And breathe into your shape. Now begin to walk your left foot towards your block. Find your flying dragon. And we'll hold this for 10 breaths. Try to stay soft and steady. Take an inhale in. And on your exhale, walk your left foot towards the outside of the mat. And you are going to sit your hips towards the back of the mat and find your Ardha Hanumanasana half splits. Try to visualize yourself flipping your tailbone to point up towards the ceiling. Find a soft gaze. Flex your left foot, creating a gentle activation. And make your way onto side 2. Take your blanket towards the left side of your mat. Step your right foot forward and find your dragon lunge. And we'll hold this for 20 breaths. Find the appropriate depth for you. Settle into what feels right for your body. Truly listen to your body in this practice. And honor your body. You can feel that nice stretch in the psoas muscles. We always need yin to balance out the yang. The yang is the dynamic movement, the engagement and activation of the muscles. Whereas the yin practice activates our deeper connective tissues in the body, lengthening out our fascia, which makes the whole body as one integrated system. So while we are focused on the hips, we are, of course, working the whole body in some areas that you may think are not connected. But what the fascial system shows us is that it is a matrix that connects our body as one whole. Go ahead and walk your right foot towards the block closest to the top of the mat. And we'll be here for 10 breaths, flying dragon. Always adjust yourself and modify yourself as needed. One last breath. From here, walk your right foot towards the outside of your mat and shift your weight back towards your left heel, Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. Flex your right foot and direct your gaze in front of you or close your eyes. Go ahead and shift the weight forward. And we'll make it onto our back. Move the bolster off to its side. And you can place the blanket underneath your back. We're going to make our way into supported bridge pose. Once you've found your way on your back, gently press your feet onto the earth, lift your hips up, and slide that block on its lowest setting underneath your sacrum. Walk your heels towards the tops of your fingertips. And just breathe. You can either stay here or find your way into platoon pose. First, extend your left leg out, followed by the right. If you like extra height, you could take your second yoga block. And this is just another variation that you can take. You do not have to take this variation. You're going to place your blocks underneath your sacrum, and then extend your legs out one at a time. Finding this inversion to slow down our heart rate, to bring us into that parasympathetic nervous system of rest and relaxation. Stay soft in your shoulders. Soften the jaw. And use the breath to ground you down into this present moment. You also have a few arm variations here. You could rest your arms along to your sides. You can cactus open the arms, or you could reach your arms gently overhead. Just choose which variation works best for you. One deep inhale through your nose. And an audible exhale out through your mouth. Go ahead and walk your feet towards the blocks. Press your feet onto the earth as you lift your hips up. Just remove the blocks. Maybe take a moment to feel the spaciousness in your hips. And extend the left leg out and hug that right knee in towards the chest. Give it a nice little squeeze. And take this right leg over towards the left side. Find your supine twist. Don't worry if your right shoulder is floating away from the earth. I want you to just focus on that left knee kissing the earth. Bring that right knee to center. Extend that right leg out. Hug that left knee in towards the chest and give it a nice little hug. Then take this left knee over towards the right supine twist. And ground down on that left knee. On your next breath, return to center and extend that left leg out. Rest your arms along your sides or wherever you choose and find and melt into your Savasana. Allow yourself to rest and recover. Take as much time as you need in your Savasana. As always, it was a pleasure and honor to share this breath, this yin practice with you wherever in the world you may be. I hope that you are feeling more spacious in your hips. I bow down to you and all of your efforts.